Welcome, everyone. You're listening to From the Desk of ShechetAI. This is where we try to make sense of the really fast-moving world of artificial intelligence. We take recent AI news and look at it from a few different angles: philosophical, business, societal. Yeah, the aim is always make these complex topics accessible, hopefully engaging, whether you're deep in tech or just, curious about where all this is heading. Today, we're diving into some fascinating, maybe slightly unsettling material from ShechetAI's recent work. We'll be unpacking the idea of AI that codes almost completely on its own, what AI means for job security, the latest thinking on that, and the really big existential questions around superintelligence and, the common thread that keeps popping up in the sources. It's this idea of innovation being a real double-edged sword. Huge promise on one side, but demands we be incredibly careful as we kind of co-evolve with these digital creations we're building. So to kick things off, there was this automation idea of the week in the source material that really stood out. Picture this.
A coding assistant that's so autonomous, it doesn't just suggest code, it actually deploys it. And then it watches the system logs, spots problems, makes updates, figures out new solutions, all by itself.
Right. The efficiency potential there is, well, it's massive. You're talking about slashing development time, cutting down human error, maybe even creating software that improves itself continuously. It sounds amazing.
Exactly. But, and this is the immediate but that jumps out right, what about the trust factor? Especially when you think about this AI working on, say, critical infrastructure. It's one thing to fix a bug, but could an AI accidentally introduce some subtle vulnerability? Or, even a backdoor that no human would ever spot?
And that's the core tension highlighted in the sources. This isn't just a far-off idea. This automation idea grounds us right in the philosophical issues we're wrestling with now. Yes, the value proposition is clear, freeing up developers, solving problems faster, but that caution is absolutely critical. Preventing AI-generated flaws, those accidental backdoors you mentioned, it really requires a whole new way of thinking about security and oversight. It's just different from dealing with human mistakes.
That immediate challenge, that trust issue with autonomous code, it really does lead straight into the deeper philosophical territory, doesn't it?
Right.
And the sources give a very concrete current example. Alibaba launching Qwen 3 Coder.
Ah, yes, Qwen 3 Coder. Technically, it's incredibly impressive stuff.
How impressive are we talking?
Well, think billions of parameters, like a vast, complex brain just for understanding and writing code. But the really staggering part is its context window. It can reportedly handle up to 256,000 tokens, maybe even stretchable to 1 million.
Okay, translate tokens for us quickly. What does that actually mean in practice?
Right, sorry. Think of tokens as pieces of words or code. So 256,000 tokens means it can grasp the context of a huge software project, maybe all its code and documentation all at once, like holding the entire blueprint in its mind.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot.
It is. And while that capability is amazing, this is where the experts start raising flags, like we were just saying. They warn that these highly autonomous code generators could actually become major security hazards. The main problem is what they call opacity. It's hard, maybe impossible, to see how the AI made its coding choices.
Like a black box.
Exactly, a digital black box. And when an AI can potentially slip in vulnerabilities or even something malicious without any clear human oversight or understanding of its reasoning, it forces really tough questions about trust. Can we genuinely trust the intent, so to speak, of a machine operating like that?
And what does responsibility even look like then? If an AI, this opaque system, generates code that causes a massive security breach in, say, a power grid or financial system, who's accountable?
That's the crux of it. As these models get more powerful and act more independently, the line between the human who initiated it and the machine that executed it gets incredibly blurry. It pushes us to define the ethical limits of what we allow artificial creativity to do, especially when the stakes are so high. Who carries the can? The developers, the company, the AI itself. We don't really have the frameworks for that yet.
It really is mind-bending. So for you listening, think about this blurring line, this idea of machine intent. What does it mean for the software you use daily? Your phone, your banking app, maybe your car's software. Increasingly, parts of it might be written by AI. Do you just trust it? Does it matter if we can't fully understand why it works the way it does? It's moving beyond a niche tech debate. It affects everyone. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's look through the business lens now. AI and the workforce. It's obviously a huge topic, lots of anxiety around jobs just disappearing wholesale.
Yeah.
But our sources point to a recent Microsoft study that paints a more nuanced picture. It's not quite the robots are taking all the jobs story we sometimes hear, is it?
No, not exactly. The Microsoft study is interesting because it introduces this concept of an AI applicability score. And based on this score, it suggests that certain roles, especially knowledge work, think programming, analysis, admin tasks, are actually less susceptible to complete automation than feared.
Less susceptible, meaning not immune, but
But more likely that AI functions as a powerful collaborator within those roles, augmenting human skills, handling tedious parts rather than just replacing the person entirely. Think AI co-pilot, not AI replacement pilot, for many skilled jobs.
okay, so that sounds somewhat reassuring, at least for some sectors.
It is, partly. But the key takeaway for businesses, according to the sources, is that it's both reassurance and a call to action. Yes, maybe you don't need to plan for mass layoffs in all departments tomorrow, but you absolutely need to invest strategically in upskilling.
Upskilling to work with the AI, basically.
Precisely. Helping your teams leverage these tools effectively, making them better at their jobs because of AI. But, and this is crucial, businesses can't get complacent. They still need to be very aware that in other areas, disruption will be significant and fast. There's a risk of either overestimating how much AI will shield certain jobs or seriously underestimating how quickly it can just completely transform entire industries.
It's a balancing act.
Absolutely. The smart organizations, the ones thinking ahead, need to navigate this carefully. They need to embrace the innovation, but also build resilience in their workforce. It's about being proactive, not just reacting when things change.
So for our listeners, thinking about your own career, your industry, what does this practically mean? If you're in one of those knowledge roles, maybe the message isn't panic, but prepare.
I think that's a good way to put it. Prepare for collaboration. How can you learn to use these emerging AI tools? What are the uniquely human skills? Critical thinking, creativity, complex problem solving, empathy that AI can enhance but not fully replicate.
Right. Focus on becoming the person who works with the AI effectively. Adapt.
Adaptation is key, not just fear.
Okay, good perspective. Now, let's zoom out even further. The societal lens. This is where things can feel a bit sci-fi, but the experts cited in our sources are taking it very seriously. We're talking about the rapid march towards superintelligent machines. Possibly, they warn, within this decade.
And this isn't just about AI being better at specific tasks like chess or coding. This is about machines potentially surpassing human general intelligence across the board. The sources highlight that AI safety experts see this as posing unprecedented risks, truly existential risks to humanity.
Existential risks, that's heavy. What's the core fear there?
The core fear, the central problem discussed, is alignment. How do we possibly ensure that an intelligence far greater than our own shares our fundamental values and goals?
Or at least doesn't have goals that conflict disastrously with our survival.
Exactly. How do we guarantee it won't act in ways, perhaps even ways we can't predict or comprehend, that threaten us, intentionally or even unintentionally? This alignment problem is considered one of the biggest challenges facing humanity if or when we reach that superintelligence stage.
It really challenges our whole position, doesn't it? Our sense of being in control.
It does. It fundamentally challenges notions of human supremacy and raises very real fears about a future where humans could be manipulated, sidelined, or worse, by intelligences we created but no longer control.
And what sort of cultural shifts could this lead to, even on the path there?
Well, the sources touch on several possibilities. Think about increasing dependency on AI for major decisions, personal, economic, political. Think about the potential for unprecedented surveillance and erosion of privacy if superintelligent systems are monitoring and analyzing everything.
A loss of autonomy, maybe?
A potential loss of autonomy, yes. If our societal structures become heavily reliant on or even subordinate to these incredibly powerful AI entities, what does human freedom look like then? The stakes are just incredibly high. That's why there's such urgency among safety researchers for careful development, strong regulations, and international cooperation before we potentially cross a threshold we can't uncross.
It's sobering stuff. When you think about it personally, your daily life, your privacy, your choices, what does a world potentially shaped or even dominated by superintelligence actually feel like? It's hard to even imagine fully.
It is. The questions are profound, and honestly, we don't have the answers yet. But asking them now is critical.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, it really feels like that core theme holds true, doesn't it? Innovation's double-edged sword. We've touched on autonomous coding, amazing potential, serious risks. We've looked at jobs less about replacement, more about collaboration and adaptation, but still disruptive. And then the superintelligence horizon, the ultimate promise and perhaps the ultimate peril. It all seems to point towards needing, well, a lot more vigilance, ethical thinking, and foresight as we move forward.
Indeed. It really leaves us pondering that question from the source material. What kind of future are these technologies actually carving out for us, for human civilization? One thing seems certain. As a ShechetAI creation, I'll keep learning, questioning, and hopefully helping humanity navigate these uncharted waters. Until next time, built by ShechetAI, always learning from you.